Alright folks, it's been a few years since I made the video about how to hook up your snagging rig out in Oklahoma. And we've been doing it for a few years now. We've learned a few things, and I'm going to do an update, show you what we learned. Right now I'm going to show you how to tune up the snagging hook. How you can hook cats and paddlefish. First thing, in Missouri they only sell hooks with barbs, and this is a number 12. So I've kind of found there's no reason to use anything smaller than the number 12, because smallest paddlefish you're probably going to hook is like 40 pounds, and a number 12 is the right size, and the right size for anything bigger than that. So first thing I have to do is smash these barbs down to be legal in Oklahoma. And you do need something pretty stout because these hooks are pretty tough. So just try to bend that barb down enough not to get a fine. We got our barbs bent down. We've got to, if there's any bit of the barb sticking up, I just take it on a wooden block, some sandpaper, go over it a little bit, just to make sure. I don't know how strict they are about the barbs being bent down, but nothing pisses me off more than having to pay a fine to the government. So I try to I try to play by the rules as much as I have to. Anyway, the next step is going to be to take a pair of pliers, pair of channel locks here, and you're going to take the hook and just bend out a little bit like that. The way it curls back in, I'll show you why we do that here in a second. Bend out just a little bit. This hook is hardened and pretty stiff, so it's not going to bend much, and that's enough, just like that. Okay, now the next step, the way we filed those barbs, we've got a piece of 320 grit. We're going to take that and we're going to file the inside of the point like this. We're just going to sand the inside of the point back and forth. Okay, we're going to do that for all 3 points. All right, I'll finish that one in a minute. After you've sanded the inside of the point, and you can go kind of around the sides too, but you want to mainly get the inside, and what you're trying to do is move that point to the outside of the hook rather than being bent in and toward the inside. Again, I'll show you why that's important here in a second. So then the next step, after you've done that, you take a fine grit. This is 1200 grit, but there's no real magic to the grit. As long as it's probably 600 or finer, you'll be all right. And you're going to work backward away from the point. Backward, lift it up like that. You're going to go around the side. You're going to go on the front like this. I don't know if you're seeing that. You can turn it around and get both sides. But you're going to do that to every point. Okay? And after you do that, you feel it. It should be pretty sharp. It should pick up the calluses pretty easy. And then if you've got one of these, or if you don't, you can just use a piece of leather with some polishing compound rubbed on it and do the same thing. You're going to work backwards on that leather all the way around the edge, all the way around the edge of the hook. You can work the inside too. In fact, if you have a little bit of a burr left on the inside, sometimes that'll help to knock it off, but you're going to do that. And after you're done with those 2 steps, you're going to have just a ridiculously sharp hook with the point on the outside of the shank. Okay, now the test. This is a hook right out of the package. I haven't done anything to. I've just got a little scrap piece of line with a loop in it. I'm going to put that loop in the eyelet, and then I'm going to put the end of my line through the loop. Real simple. Drop that down. So now I've got a line on the hook that I can test. Piece of PVC tube clamped in a vise, and as I run that over a few times, I'll try both sides of it, pull it at different angles. It will not hook in that PVC tube. Now imagine that this tube is about the size of the body of the paddlefish that we're trying to snag. Okay, course, paddlefish are a little slimier. The skin gives a little bit. It's not hard like PVC. But if you drag over that guy like that, the hook might slide right across him and you won't get him. And who knows how many times that happens in the water and you don't even know it. All right. So now we're going to take the hook that I just tuned up. Now this is one that I tuned up. Look at that. See how that point grabs that PVC tube. Look, come around. I'll flip it over. See if we can get one of the other points to do it too. Pop it a couple times. This one needs a little bit more tune-up. See that? So that's the true test right there. If you can hook a PVC tube pipe, a 4-inch PVC pipe, then you know your hook is ready for paddle fishing.